The true story behind The Exorcist begins in the late 1940s in suburban Washington, D.C., with a German-American family. Their 13-year-old, believed to be named Ronald Hunkeler, later referred to pseudonymously as Roland Doe or Robbie Mannheim, was despondent over the loss of his beloved Aunt Harriet. Harriet was a spiritualist who taught him many things, including how to use a Ouija boa or spirit board. In early January 1949, shortly after Harriet's death, Ronald Hunkeler began to experience strange things. He heard scratching sounds coming from the floors and walls of his room. Water dripped inexplicably from pipes and walls. Most troubling of all was that his mattress would suddenly move. Disturbed, Ronald's family sought the help of every expert they knew. The family consulted doctors, psychiatrists, and their local Lutheran minister, but they were no help. The minister suggested that the family seek the assistance of the Jesuits. Father E. Albert Hughes, the local Catholic priest, asked his superior's permission to perform an exorcism on the teenager in late February of 1949. The church granted Hughes's request. For the exorcism, Hughes strapped the boy to the mattress and began his recitations. But he had to stop the rite when Ronald broke off a piece of mattress spring and slashed the priest across his shoulders, leaving the exorcism unfinished. A few days later, red scratches appeared on Roland Doe. One of the scratches formed the word Louis, which indicated to Ronald's mother that the family needed to go to St. Louis, where the Hunkelers had relatives, to find a way to save their son. A cousin of the family was attending St. Louis University at the time of Ronald's struggles. She put the Hunkelers in touch with Father Walter H. Halloran and Reverend William Bowden. After consulting with the university's president, these two Jesuits agreed to perform an exorcism on young Ronald with the help of several assistants. The men gathered at the residence on Roanoke Drive in early March of 1949. There, the exorcists witnessed scratching on the boy's body and the mattress moving violently. These were the same types of things that had happened in Maryland when the first exorcism failed. Amid these bizarre happenings, Bowden and Halloran, according to their reports, noticed a pattern in Ronald's behavior. He was calm and normal during the day, but at night, after settling in for bed, he would exhibit strange behavior, including screaming and wild outbursts. Ronald would also enter a trance-like state and start making sounds in a guttural voice. The priests also said they saw objects mysteriously flying in the boy's presence and noted that he would react violently when he saw any sacred object presented by the attending Jesuits. At one point during this weeks-long ordeal, Bowden reportedly saw an X appear in scratches on Ronald's chest, which the priest believed signified the number 10. In another incident, a pitchfork-shaped pattern of red lines moved from the boy's thigh and snaked down towards his ankle. These types of things happened every night for more than a month. Once, a red X appeared on Ronald's chest, leading the priests to believe he was possessed by 10 demons. A priest was asked to bless the set after it caught on fire. There were many creepy occurrences that took place during the filming of The Exorcist. Many people were led to believe the set was haunted, especially after the entire set caught on fire. The set that was being used for the McNeil house caught on fire, which delayed production for 6 weeks. What's strange, however, is that the only room that wasn't burned was Reagan's demonic bedroom. Due to this fact, again a priest was asked to come and bless the set in order to put the cast and crew somewhat at ease. When The Exorcist hit theaters, many of them handed out bath bags because people kept vomiting in the auditoriums. Many people were repulsed by what they saw on the big screen due to the film's horrific and graphic content. When one woman passed out at a screening of The Exorcist, she passed out and broke her jaw. She ended up suing Warner Brothers and claimed that the subliminal messages caused her injury. Warner Brothers is also said to have settled the dispute for an undisclosed amount to avoid going to court over the matter. After the movie was released, since people thought the film glorified Satan, Blair had to have bodyguards with her at all times for 6 months after Warner Brothers released The Exorcist. While it doesn't happen all of the time, some cast and crew members do pass away while making a movie. What's strange about The Exorcist is that a total of 9 people's passings are said to be linked to the movie. By far, one of the most chilling and iconic scenes from The Exorcist comes when the demented Regan does a spider walk down the stairs of the McNeil home. Even though it is one of the most frightening scenes in the film, it wasn't in the movie when it first hit theaters. Director William Friedkin apparently didn't like that the wires holding the contortionist could be seen, so he decided to cut the scene altogether. In later editions of the film, with the help of CGI, the scene was restored with the wires no longer visible. Just as audiences were screaming when they watched The Exorcist, the characters in the movie were screaming as well. After all, Regan herself was being possessed, and her mother Chris had to watch as a demon took over her daughter. In the scene where Regan mutilates herself, her mother rushes over to stop her but gets shoved onto the floor by the demon in Regan. Actress Ellen Burstyn lets out a glass-shattering scream, but her screams were actually real screams of pain. The stuntman had pulled the wire rigged to the actress harder than expected, which caused Burstyn to severely hurt her back when she hit the floor, leading to a permanent spinal injury. It's no surprise that making a movie look as real as The Exorcist was a grueling task. Because of this, director William Friedkin had some rather intense directing techniques. In the documentary that came with the 2010 Blu-ray edition of The Exorcist, it was revealed that the director would often fire guns or slap actors in the face right before the cameras started rolling. While this often got genuine reactions from the cast, it also angered them, resulting in Ellen Burstyn calling Friedkin a maniac. While Linda Blair gave an incredible performance at the age of 14, the voice of the demon was actually done by radio and film actress Mercedes McCambridge. The actress added a startling dimension to the movie by supplying a chilling voice you would never imagine coming from a little girl. Director William Friedkin once said that the actress swallowed raw eggs, smoked cigarettes, and drank alcohol in order to achieve the voice of the demon. What's even more interesting is that McCambridge even gave up her sobriety to make the voice seem as authentic as possible. In 1987, she also faced a tragedy when her son ended the life of his wife, his children, and himself. It's safe to say that the cast and crew working on The Exorcist were incredibly uncomfortable at times. One way that William Friedkin made life difficult for the cast and crew was by refrigerating the entire set. This allowed viewers to see the breath of Regan and the priests and add an eerie effect to the movie. In behind-the-scenes photographs, fans can see the crew in big winter coats trying to stay warm while filming scenes inside Regan's bedroom. While this effect sometimes still happens today, it was much more expensive to pull off in the 70s. A lot of horror movies that come out today rely on elaborate computer-generated imagery to scare audiences, but in 1973, filmmakers used practical effects. Most of these effects on The Exorcist were also low-tech, but they worked incredibly well. A rubber dummy of Linda Blair was used for when Regan's head twists 360 degrees, which only looked real because of the lighting on set. For vomit sequences, a hidden tube was attached to Blair's chin that shot out the thick green slime. The projectile vomit scene is said to have been filmed in only one take, since Miller's reaction was genuine. When the vomit launches at Father Karras, it was supposed to hit him on the chest, but instead, it sprayed all over his face. For any movie or TV show, filmmakers usually hold auditions to decide which actor or actress is a good fit for the role. In the case of Regan McNeil, Linda Blair is said to have beat out 500 other actresses for the role. Stanley Kubrick was considered to direct. When Warner Brothers sent the script to Kubrick, he responded by saying, "I only like to develop my own stuff." Audrey Hepburn and Jane Fonda almost played Regan's mother. Marlon Brando and Jack Nicholson were considered for priest roles. Over the years, many people still consider The Exorcist one of the scariest movies ever to watch. It was the first horror movie to be nominated for Best Picture,